An Indian Prime Minister in Australia after 28 years. In the normal course, when diplomatic engagements are revived at the highest levels after such long gaps, they tend to be rather businesslike. But the warmth and enthusiasm shown by Australia's people and its political leadership during Prime Minister Modi's visit to the continent holds an altogether different meaning. Apart from clicking selfies, spending several days together at multilateral fora and taking bilateral ties forward, has established a deep connect between the Indian and Australian Prime Ministers, so much so that now they are on first name terms.
जब आपने मुझे ऑस्ट्रेलिया का निमंत्रण दिया तो लोगों ने मुझसे पूछा कि अब 28 साल से कोई प्रधानमंत्री ऑस्ट्रेलिया नहीं गया है और प्रधानमंत्री एबॉट अभी आए हैं तो 2 महीनों के बाद जाना ज्यादा जल्दी नहीं हो रहा है क्या, मुझे पूछा जा रहा था। और मैंने सहज जवाब दिया था कि मैं मेरे दोस्त टॉनी की बात को टाल नहीं सकता हूं।
Prime Minister Abbott's undisguised admiration for his Indian counterpart was also apparent during his address to his country's lawmakers, an event where an Indian Prime Minister addressed the Australian Parliament for the first time. Prime Minister Abbott is also profoundly impressed with the mandate which has powered the Indian PM to office. He even went to the extent of advising Australian representatives to learn a thing or two from him.
Madam Speaker, there is so much that we can learn from a Prime Minister who must try to reach some 830 million voters. And whose mastery of electioneering has meant that in India's recent election, he was literally beamed into dozens of different rallies simultaneously all around the country. Prime Minister Modi is the first in decades with an absolute majority in the lower house, the Lok Sabha, because he imbued his fellow citizens with the sure hope that tomorrow can be better than today.
The Australian PM has noted how Modi magic has worked like a charm, not only back home, but it has crossed boundaries and oceans to cast a spell on Australian citizens as well.
I have never seen any leader as rapturously received in this country as Prime Minister Modi has been. And that's not just by the 500,000 Australians of Indian descent, and not just because the former Chief Minister of Gujarat has never been a stranger to us, and at least this should mean that it never again will be 28 years till the next prime ministerial visit.
Clearly, this friendship between the two leaders has bloomed from the time Prime Minister Abbott became the first head of state to visit India bilaterally after Modi's swearing in. Ties between India and Australia, however, still remain at the budding stage, promising to bloom by the spring of 2016. With Rabi Dhiman in Australia, DD News.